Hey guys, it's been a while. This is going to be my chapter review to One Piece 865, Hey Mother. Now, it's been a while because just genuinely chapters haven't been coming out. I think there was Golden Week in Japan or something over the last week, so there hasn't been any Fairy Tail, Nanatsu no Taizai, or One Piece, or even any One Punch Man actually over the last. But One Punch Man's kind of a monthly thing. But anyway, let's get going. What did we learn and what did I like? This chapter was pretty. It was pretty good because there wasn't so much progression, but what we did see and what did happen was kind of dope, and it gets me hyped. It's another build up chapter, so it gets me hyped for what's gonna happen because we're going into a flashback at the end of this chapter. We're going into mother what's it? I mean, a Big Mom's backstory, and that's gonna be good. There were a few people on the manga stream complaining about it, and I was like, really, you're complaining about the backstory of a Yonko? You're complaining about freaking one of the most important characters in terms of power rankings. You're complaining about their backstory and how it ties into the One Piece world. Yeah, you gotta understand that a lot of One Piece has to do with the backstory of things. So if you don't like this concept, you've not been reading One Piece for very long, because that's what they do. One Piece is all about the backstory. I mean, you constantly going. We still don't even know anything about Goldie Roger and that backstory properly, and that's something we're all anticipating to learn as well. So yeah, a lot of the backstory, a lot of the people who were saying that, I was just like, maybe you're just a little bit weird. I'm not sure, but maybe you might not like backstory. I don't know, but I think it adds a good deal to the story. So what did we learn? What did we see? What did you guys like and what did I like? I assume. Well, let's talk about the Cavendish cover page. It was just a cover page of Cavendish. We're going through the Straw Hat Grand Fleet, which is what the front page said, and we just see Cavendish having he's telling his crew a story about some time when he was younger. But yeah, nothing really major. It looked cool. So what did we learn? Caesar pulls out his mirror and he's watching all the chaos ensue after Big Mom's gone into like a complete shock. And he's pulled out his mirror and he's just waiting. He's just watching as things are going down, and he's making like mental notes of everything that's gone down. He's like, I've pulled out my mirror. Why aren't they ready? He looks over and he's like, all right, Big Mom's in shock. Big Mom's kind of it just stood there. What's she doing? He's like, all right, they've broken down the cake. They've broken the portrait. So what's wrong? Why are we still in this lull between our plan? Why hasn't Big Mom started screaming yet? Now this is the issue a lot of people were having. Well, it wasn't an issue. It's just what's going to happen in the story. Is this going to be a flaw in their plan? He's pulled out his mirror, Caesar, in anticipation of when the guys need to escape. But Big Mom at the end of this chapter screams her ass off and smashes everything. So isn't his mirror going to smash as well? So I don't know how it's going to work out, but I assume his mirror is probably going to smash. But we don't see that. So then we go on to really the next biggest plot point was Pero and his drawing out of the murder of the Vinsmoke family. He's there just like he's the James Bond villain in this whole friggin' arc. He's just there talking them to death rather than actually killing them, the Vinsmokes. And he's there. He's got all his gunmen pointing their guns at the Vinsmoke family's heads, and they're just there waiting for him to shoot them. And even what's his name, Katakuri Dogtooth, tells him, "Bitch, get on with the game. Shoot their heads off so that we can carry on. You know, you're wasting time. You're messing up. If you don't kill them now, something might happen. I can see the freaking future. Just do it." So he's like, yeah, no, don't worry, I'll get to it. So then he's just talking them through again, and then he just goes another few panels like, yeah, I'll talk you through it again. And then we get this interaction between Sanji trying to save Reiju, and she's proud of how Sanji's become, and she's accepted her death, and she's totally fine with dying. And she's just happy that Sanji, the only good part of their family, is going to carry on their name. So that was pretty cool. I like how Pero's the typical guy who just thinks, James Bond villain who just thinks like, he's got so much power, he's in such an advantageous position that he's just going to talk him through everything he's ever done in his life. So then the next thing we see and the next thing we learn is that Katakuri is actually taking on Beige, Pedro, and Jinbei in that order. And he gets shot by Beige first. Beige just goes and he just gets wrecked. His outward appearance gets wrecked anyway, Katakuri, but he just springs the bullets back because he's made of that mochi substance. He's a Logia user, devil fruit user. So the bullets just kind of spring back. It looks almost like a slower version of Luffy's. It doesn't fly back. The bullets don't rebound. They just kind of get pushed back out. So Katakuri's fine, and I noticed something there. I was like, didn't Beige instill any haki in that attack at all? Maybe he's not very proficient at instilling haki in weapons. He's not a weapons user, but then again, he is like a very mafioso type guy. I'd assume he'd be able to instill haki in his gunshots. He seems like a gun user, and they are the fire tank pirates. I don't know. But then Pedro slices through an attack that Katakuri was aiming at Luffy. Now, all the way through this chapter, Katakuri is going after Luffy. He's seen something in the future that we saw last chapter that made him go white as the sheet, and he knows it's down to Luffy. So he's going after Luffy, and he's trying to stop Luffy with all his might. So Pedro intercepts, slices off part of Katakuri's mochi attack or whatever it is. It's like he kicks at Luffy with his leg, but he just slices it off, obviously to know it doesn't really harm Katakuri, but it slows him down. Once again, I'm pretty sure Pedro should be able to use haki, and he didn't use it, or it didn't have any effect, which is the more disconcerting part for these guys if they're going to face off against Katakuri. And then Jinbei uses his attack to slow down Katakuri again. Once again, he didn't use haki. Now he defo didn't use haki because his arm wasn't blackened, which is representative of the Busoshoku no haki, and neither was Pedro's sword. And you can't really tell with Beige's bullets; they're blackened anyway. So I was a little bit surprised that none of them were using haki. But then eventually Katakuri does catch up to Luffy. He knocks him to the ground, but that's not enough for Luffy. Luffy's a rubber man. So the plan succeeds. Luffy shoots his arms forward, and he shows Big Mom the broken portrait of Mother Caramel. So she sees it, and the plan succeeds. She sees the broken portrait, grabs it, and unleashes her Haoshoku no haki. Everyone's getting knocked out, and everything's smashing. She does his scream as well, so everyone's either getting knocked out or they're holding their hands to their ears, trying to stop the sound from penetrating in. Luffy on page 13. Go to page 13 on Manga Stream. Luffy's face, because of the scream, is hilarious. He's just dying because he doesn't have the earbuds in, and he's one of the people who should have earbuds in his ears. So that was funny. I was laughing my ass off at Luffy's face there. Even the entire Vinsmoke family are affected by it. They're all kind of grimacing at the sound. Big News Morgan is there holding his hands to his ears. He's dying. But so a lot of people getting knocked out. Mama falls to her knees. She cuts one of her knees, so she got wounded. Her family members notice that. They're like, shit, Big Mom's gotten wounded. We gotta do something. But more importantly, all the gunmen around the Vinsmoke family got totally knocked out. So there's no harm or no immediate danger to the Vinsmoke family. So then Vito and Gotti are released from Beige's body, and they've all got their rocket launchers ready, and I'm just like, yo, the panel where they're all looking at Big Mom, and they're just like, oh yeah, you're gonna get some. I was like, yo, this is gonna be sick. So I'm really hyped for that. I think they're gonna use a lot of people. I think Rogers Base mentioned that Vito, Gotti, and Beige, they've all got their own rocket launchers. There's 3 rocket launchers in total, so they're gonna use it. Probably one. They could use one on, for instance, Luffy, one on Jinbei or something, and then one on Big Mom. But I think these guys are gonna go all in. I think they're gonna use all 3 on Big Mom. I'm not sure if they're the treacherous type, but I'm not sure if this is the time and situation for their treachery. They're gonna aim all 3 of these rocket launchers at Big Mom. So then we see the Vinsmokes again. Chopper's freeing up Reiju. He puts earbuds in her ears. She's just like, what? And Sanji frees all his family. He just smashes off all that candy that was coating them. And that panel on page 15 looks awesome. That's going to be my thumbnail, actually. Sanji standing on top of the table in his white suit, and his entire family, Ichiji, Niji, Yonji, Judge, and Reiju, all looking up at him like, yo. He just looks like he's their savior, which he is. And it just looks really good. It's a really powerful moment for Sanji. It's hopefully it's the start of his returning to winning ways. He can't take another loss in this arc. I'm hoping he starts to kick some ass now, and he takes out that genie guy. Who was it? Was it Daifuku? Yeah, I'm hoping he just takes out Daifuku now. So yeah, the Vinsmokes are all freed by Sanji and the Straw Hats, earbuds in their ears, and then we see Beige and Co once again, Gotti, Vito, and they're preparing to fire on Big Mom, and what Beige says something like, prepare to take a dirt nap. I was like, yes, get in. So then actually the chapter slows down as we get to the end. We see more of Big Mom kind of in her head. She's thinking about Mother Caramel, And then we get on the last panel, we see that Big Mom is actually we're gonna go through a flashback with her of her time, or of whatever. It must be of her time on Elbaf, hinting very heavily that she might be part or is a giant. So we're going to get a flashback to do with Elbaf, to do with Mother Caramel, and to do with Big Mom. And apparently Mother Caramel, we saw on the last page that she went missing somehow, and this might be what started Big Mom's adventure out on the sea or something, in pursuit of Mother Caramel. She was probably looking for Mother Caramel, got twisted along the way by something, was probably scorned by average people for being such a huge lady. So yeah, that was really cool. I'm really hyped up for that. Like I said at the beginning of this review, it's getting a little lengthy now, but like I said at the beginning of this review, the flashbacks are pivotal to this story. They're key to this story. They always have been, and I'm really hyped. Now, the only issue with this chapter was, like I said, there wasn't much. The pacing was a little bit slow. Not much actually happened. But we're on break next week after having come out of Golden Week, which is a week-long break anyway. So I was like, really? But as long as the next chapters are good, which they're gonna be because we're in Elbaf, then I don't really mind. It's just, it would have been better if we didn't have a week break. So let me know what you guys thought. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I thought it was a pretty dope chapter. I'm going to give it like an 8 out of 10. Not much happened in terms of progressing beyond what we already knew. But the fact that what we did get and what we're being promised next time is quite dope. So I'm ready. And I hope you guys are ready. So let's do this. See you next week. Actually, no, see you in 2 weeks. And let me know what you guys thought in the comments and all that. And I'll see you guys in a bit. And actually, I forgot to mention, on page, let me just check what page it was. Yes, on page 16 of Manga Stream, so the Manga Stream edition of this chapter 865, Nami is seen handing off little canisters, little black kind of cans almost, to Ichiji and Niji, and I assume the rest of the Vinsmokes are given theirs as well, and I'm not sure what they are. I don't have any idea what it is, but it could be, actually just think about it now, it could be their raid suits. So that's just another addition to the chapter. I don't know where to put it. I'm just going to put this at the end. But yeah, I think those, you'll see it at the end. It's like this little black canister with his number on it, 0 and 1 for Ichiji. And she just hands it off. She's like, yeah, you got to handle this situation by yourselves. We got to go do our thing. You guys do your thing. So yeah, it's got to be their raid suits, because they're all pimped out in this. They're all pimped out in their suits and stuff. So yeah, it's got to be their raid suits. But yeah, let me know what you guys thought. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. See you guys later.